Hello cookies, my name is Teeny Dragon. You'll have to excuse this face. This is the face of someone who has not slept regular human hours in quite some time. That's not the spooky thing that I'm sharing with you today though. No, 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 no. I thought, seeing as it's Halloween, it's been a little while since I've posted anything, I figured we could share some spooky stories. So I don't know if you know this, but I'm quite a big horror fan. I watch a lot of horror films, I read a lot of spooky stories, but I don't necessarily believe in all of that paranormal stuff. At least I tell myself that I don't believe in that stuff, because if I did, then what previously happened to me would actually be real. I've never told anyone these stories before. I'm not entirely certain why I'm sharing them now, but I'm going to. These things happened to me when I was younger and I lived at my parents' house. It was a normal house, detached, normal size. My bedroom was at the back of the house, overlooking the garden, and what I used to do was keep my curtains open so I could see the moon, and it made me feel safe, and I liked the light coming through the window. Like, that didn't seem spooky to me. That seemed safe. Otherwise, it didn't necessarily feel safe at night time. You know that feeling that you get when you walk up the stairs and it feels like there's someone behind you, and you know there logically isn't, but you find yourself walking that bit quicker anyway to get to the top so you can get into the bathroom or your bedroom safely and the person behind you isn't going to eat you. It felt like that all the time. Let's just say I was in the bathroom brushing my teeth. It would feel as though someone was in there with me. You would hear weird noises and it would feel stuffy, as though there was something in the air. One of the few times I remember feeling pure terror was when I was walking up the stairs to go to bed. So I reached the top of the stairs, I was turning to enter my bedroom, and the light turned itself on. Now that might not sound terrifying, but just put yourself in the moment. So everything's dark, upstairs is dark, top of the stairs, pitch black. You turn and your bedroom light turns itself on. Now obviously I just screamed, burst into tears, ran downstairs to my parents, like, who were in pure shock. They just said, oh, it must have just been half on, half off. You know, you just didn't turn it off properly. It just happened to turn itself on as you were about to enter the room. We're definitely not haunted. Really? I mean, clearly, that is the logical explanation. The light switch must have been, it's stuck in the middle and it just turned itself on at that very inconvenient moment and scared the living daylights out of me. As a child, that was the only proof I needed to the fact that we were actually haunted. All of the weird little things that I felt around the house, there was the proof. We were haunted, or at least I was haunted. My bedroom was haunted. There was a ghost that wanted to scare the living bejesus out of me by turning my light on for me. So I've always struggled with sleeping. I used to have horrible nightmares as a kid. I would imagine that these horrible wolf dog creatures would come up from behind my bed's headboard, drag me back down to where they lived in the dark pit, and eat me. And I would visually see them eating me. That definitely didn't help with the sleep situation. But for protection, other than the moon's light, I would have a barricade of teddies and soft toys. They were like my shield. And I would imagine that the dark, creepy hands of all the demons and monsters in my bedroom would be boinging off it. They couldn't get through the teddy bear force field. Because otherwise, nighttime was not a fun time. I would hear scratching in the walls. It wasn't rats, it wasn't the neighbours, despite what my parents said. It wouldn't logically make sense for people to go into their back room and scratch at the walls just as I go to bed. After the scratching came the sniffing. That was the reason why I would have my barricade of teddies and I sleep with the cover like a dome over my face so my ears were protected. Because lying in the dark and hearing a sniffing sound as you're trying to sleep, you're in that room by yourself and the door's shut and it's dark and there's sniffing. I mean, eventually, even through all this, I would fall asleep. Clearly, it's just a child's imagination running away with them, right? One night, and until I had an explanation for it, and I do have an explanation for this, It freaked me out for years. So I was asleep, I had my teddy barricade, the covers over my face, and at some point I woke up. It was pitch black, it was quiet, but I couldn't move. And it felt like there was this giant weight on me, weighing every single bit of my body down. And that's when I realised my arms and my face were out of the covers. And as much as I tried, I couldn't move anything to get back into the safety of the covers. I was just lying there, exposed, and I wanted to scream, and I wanted to cry, but I couldn't do that either. I was just frozen. And then I heard the sniffing right by my head. I just saw this dark figure leaning over my bed, sniffing my face and my head, and I was just lying there, terrified out of my mind. Eventually, it stopped. As a child, how do you explain that to someone? It wasn't a nightmare because you were awake, but it was terrifying. And there was definitely someone there, and you could hear all the noises. You were awake. It wasn't too long ago that I finally got an explanation for what happened. It was sleep paralysis. Presumably. If you don't know what sleep paralysis is, basically it's when your mind is awake, but your body is still in deep sleep. So you can't move, but you're aware. A lot of people have reported seeing the dark figure, and they call it the sleep paralysis demon. I don't have a thought on that. All I know is I would not wish that experience upon anyone. I am glad to have an explanation now, and I can just be like, ah yes, it was sleep paralysis. It definitely wasn't a demon figure over my bed trying to eat me. Good times. Like nothing like that, thankfully, has ever happened to me again. The little weird things carried on, the noises, the stuffiness. Even today, if I sleep in my parents' house and I turn that light off, I run to bed as fast as I can. So there are many explanations for what happened. Kids get nightmares when they're young and they're growing. I have a vivid imagination, or the house is haunted. So what do you guys think? Tell me your experiences of the supernatural. I sincerely hope you only have sweet dreams tonight. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy Halloween! Stay there. No, Gambit. No. You're not allowed in. Pesky bunnies. I need to sip. Hang on, let me think about this. I'm knackered. Why is this so knackering? I wonder if I could just have a nap. This is actually incredibly comfortable. This Pikachu skin is actually incredibly comfortable.